Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the EZA that has arrived on DBZ Dokkan Battle Global for the Galaxy Threatening Invasion Full Power Boujack Galactic Warrior. So obviously this guy recently got his Extreme Z Awakening as a part of the current celebration on DBZ Dokkan Battle Global, and I thought it would be pretty cool to get a look at him and see how good he is. Now a couple of things stick out right off the bat, but let's preface this by saying my unit has a dupe in him, so obviously that does kind of count, and also quite frankly his link skills are very particular. I think that's something to be well noted with Boujack, but still, we will definitely take a look at him and see how best we can use him. So, just to kind of preface it, the Galaxy Threatening Invasion Full Power Boujack Galactic Warrior is a 120% Extreme Int lead and a Super Int lead of Key plus 3 HP attack and defense of 90%. He raises defense for 1 turn, causes colossal damage to the enemy and massively lowers defense, whilst raising defense for 1 turn and causing mega colossal damage to the enemy while raising extreme class allies attack by 40% for 1 turn, which is pretty good. He has attack and defense of 150% plus an additional attack boost by up to 100%. The more HP remaining, the greater the attack boost, and an additional defensive boost by up to 100%. The less HP remaining, the greater the defense boost. He has key plus 1 up to plus 5, plus an additional attack and defense of 10% up to 50% per extreme class ally on the team. He will change tech key spheres to rainbow key spheres when there's another space traveling warriors category ally attacking in the same turn, and he has an additional attack and defense of 50% with 5 or more key spheres obtained. He has the Hera Clan, Galactic Warriors, Big Bad Bosses, Thirst for Conquest, Revival, Shattered Limit, and Legendary Power as his links. He's on Rares Warriors, Movie Masters, Full Power, Time Travelers, Joint Forces, Terrifying Conquerors, Space Traveling Warriors, Storied Figures, and Legendary Existence. So, in terms of his overall abilities, I think he's a pretty good unit. I don't think he's game breaking in any sense of the fashion, but I do think he's pretty decent. I think he's got some very interesting kind of mechanisms to him. For example, I think he's pretty cool from the fact that he raises extreme class allies attack. I think this is something that's quite helpful. Even if you have him only in the second slot, I still think it's something that's really solid. Not to mention, he also has pretty good start of turn defense, even with high health. As you will see, obviously in terms of our showcase. One big thing about him is there's a very big difference between a Boujack linked up with a Strength Boujack or another Boujack or a member of the Hera Clan than there is with a Boujack that's just linked up with a generic other Big Bad Bosses unit. And that's because Hera Clan and the Galactic Warriors link are very strong. Attack and defense at 20% from Galactic Warriors, and Hera Clan gives him 5% crit chance and 5% attack. So both of those are very strong links. But overall, he's a pretty interesting unit, and I wanted to kind of get a good look at him and see just how good he can be. Now we're obviously taking a look at him on the Terrifying Conquerors lead under Captain Ginyu, who is a 200% lead for him, which is pretty good. So he looks really solid here. He's got all his links pretty much active, all the major links at least. Big Bad Bosses is not active, but his defense is looking pretty solid already. Attack wise, he's also looking pretty good. If you take a look here, he's going to get, I think, a 8 million or so attack stat, or 7.4. Really solid. Obviously, something super important to understand when it comes to Boujack is, that when it comes down to him as a unit, he's very simple, and not in a bad way. He's, really straightforward. Good starting defense, good starting attack. If you get lower on health, that defense will become more valuable, and if you get higher on health, he will do more damage. he raises the extreme class allies attack, and that's pretty much it. He's just a unit that's not really dependent on too much crazy, more so as in he's just really dependent on, basically having his links active. And I think it's always good to have a simple unit. I don't think every unit needs to have 1,400,000 mechanics. And I think Boujack is a unit that's a testament to not needing to have 14,000 mechanics. I think he sits in a really, really good spot. He's a unit that's good to use. He has good raw stats. Is he a game buster? No. Could he do more? Possibly yes. I think the only, real shame, or the only real shame I kind of feel with him, honestly, when it comes down to it as a unit, is that he lacks link partners a lot. Like a lot. And because of that, and because he doesn't, he's missing his two biggest links, maybe they were scared, because maybe one day they'll EZA strength Boujack, and they're concerned that this int Boujack will have like 14 billion health or something. I'm not too certain on the concerns they have with it, but they just seem very scared of giving Boujack relevancy, because every time one of the Bojacks is relevant, the other one is not. So it's like now you can't use the strength one, whereas back in the day you couldn't use the int one, and vice versa. So it's just very interesting. But yeah, Boujack is good. I think, from a raw perspective, I think he's good. His only real shame is obviously he's entirely reliant on raw defense. So that was kind of what I was getting around to. And because of that, links are kind of very important to him, because everything kind of matters. So like, for example, having big bad bosses is a huge change up in how he functions as a unit comparatively to if you don't have big bad bosses active. And this is just part of him being Boujack. It's just part of him existing as a unit. It's part of him, how he functions. And yes, is it a shame? Obviously to a certain extent it's always a shame when you can't maximize a unit, in their best teams. But he still definitely has a place on a lot of teams. He still functions quite well. I think he sits in a pretty solid space. Right now, I think he's not necessarily a unit that's blowing minds, but he's not necessarily a unit for me that's terrible. He's obviously just, I think, a good unit. I think that kind of sums him up, in his entirety. I think he is sitting in a situation where, do I wish he could be better? Yeah, kind of a little bit. Do I think he's terrible? No. I think if you've got him rainbowed as well and with level 10 links, obviously that always makes a unit better, but I think in Boujack's situation it definitely does make him a lot better. I think he definitely functions way better with level 10 links because of the strength of big bad bosses. Big bad bosses is very, very strong. He benefited a lot as well from the int perfect cell EZA, because when int perfect cell transforms, he actually shares 3 really crucial links with Boujack, being legendary power, revival, and big bad bosses. So really critical stuff for Boujack, and it gives him another relevant running partner. The only problem is the amount of teams you can run them on is a little bit limited, but Time Travelers is pretty strong from an extreme perspective. I mean, you can run double hearts leads, and yeah, you can make it work, definitely. Maybe you won't make it work super well, but you can definitely make it work. Double hearts leads with Incel and just the guys kind of running it, I think looks pretty good. You could have Zamasu and Goku Black on the other rotation. So yeah, there's definitely a viable team for him there. It's just going to depend on how much effort you're willing to put in, because all of them benefit greatly from link leveling and just being worked on. Like if you work on all of them and link level them and do all these things, you see a much better team than if you don't. And that's not to criticize the team, that's just how it is. So yeah, overall though, I would say Boujack's in a good position. Galactic Warrior and Heraclan are not links that I find to be distinctly easy to get, so I wouldn't suggest focusing on them. if you've got strength Boujack, then you're pretty good to go on that regard. But there's not a lot of other workable Boujack options. Hopefully they easy A one of them in future. I think that will help just in general with him as a unit. But again, to each their own. It doesn't have to be that way, but it would help if they did easy A another Boujack, at least sometime soon, because it would help to give him a really relevant partner, and preferably as well if he could get a tanky version of Boujack. That would be really good. So yeah, it's just obviously always going to depend a little bit on how you feel about him. But I think overall Boujack's a really fun unit. I think his easy A has been good, and I think if you are interested in him, definitely I would say easy A him. He's going to be worth it for you, whether that's going to be as a solid kind of second start option for your team or a pairing partner for your incel. I think there's something there. It may not be the greatest, but I think there's definitely something that you can use there, especially when Cell transforms. They share a lot of crucial links. But yeah, overall I think Boujack's are really good. Hopefully they easy A the strength one right around the corner. But he does link up pretty well with anyone that's got terrifying conquerors and big bad bosses. It's just that the key links are a bit wonky. But he gives him a self key, so it's not such a big issue for him. It's just his pairing partner that might struggle a little bit with key, which is always a bit of a shame. But again, that's not the end of the world. But yeah, I think overall, Boujack, I'd give him a solid performance. I think around a 7.5. I think any unit that relies on raw defense is always a little bit of a shame. But considering how high Boujack's raw defense can get, even with just one dupe and no maxed out links, I think he's definitely good enough. And he does great damage, and he augments the damage of the rest of the team. So yeah, honestly speaking, he's pretty good. And obviously Heraclan, Galactic Warrior, these are super strong links. So the moment this Boujack gets an easy A, or you get a really good linking Boujack, or even just a general banner Heraclan unit, then you could definitely see the spectrum change, and in Boujack gain a little bit more relevancy. But I think overall, really solid stuff. I'm super happy with them. I think it's a fun easy A. I think it's an interesting easy A. And yeah, I think that's basically everything you need to cover. I don't think there's anything else too crazy about him. I like him. Simple build, lots of fun. And yeah, but I think that's basically going to be it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, I'll see you guys next time. Till then, bye.